So you want to get bad at art, be an absolute failure and die as a worthless noob? Well, it just so happens that I am a professional in this field. I will show you step by step how you can become the worst you can be. No, but seriously, if you are wondering why your art got worse over the years, I may have the answer to why. After having painted a lot of new work over the years, I looked back at my older stuff and noticed that there was something I missed in my new work. It didn't really have any impact emotionally, even though the painting skills improved. Well, at least I think they did. I think part of the problem was that painting became a routine, so I did it just because I was used to it. And you hear people talk about that all the time. You should just draw every day, and it's all about quantity. But in my opinion, it's not just about quantity. For me, it's more about the attitude when learning. And if you're not interested in the subject, how the fuck should you expect to learn? You have to be invested and interested in stuff to understand it. If you're just drawing 100 cubes without even being interested at all, I don't think you will learn that much, cause that's the perfect way to set yourself up for a lot of procrastination. Drawing a lot of cubes, for example, is very helpful, but only if you do it with a goal. If your goal is to understand how structure works. So in terms of improving your technical skills, I think you also have to be very interested in what you're trying to learn. So how do you become interested? The only way I get interested in stuff is when I'm trying to solve a specific problem. So for example, if I have a problem with a painting I'm working on, I'm trying to figure out how to improve and how to fix this problem. And then I get into a rabbit hole and try to learn about stuff I need to know before I start tackling those problems. This could be gaps in my knowledge of anatomy or some theory on color or maybe also structure, perspective. So all those things only serve to make a specific painting better for me. And that's when I get interested in learning it. So I switch back and forth between painting my personal stuff and trying to understand the fundamentals. So I never really sat down and just tried to learn fundamentals. It was always this back and forth. And that's how I'm doing it to this day. Maybe that's shitty advice, I don't know. Maybe you should just turn off this video and watch something else. I can just tell you how it works for me, and yeah, I guess everyone is different. But you always have to remember why you enjoy painting in the first place, and also get inspired by other work and other things that interest you. Let's get back to the point I was trying to make about my art being worse than it was before. I think the main reason people get worse at their own art is because they're either rusty and need to warm up and get into it again after a long break, or you stop caring about your art in general and get sloppy with it, and then you wonder why your older stuff is better than your new stuff. And it's probably because you cared more and you took your time to find ideas, interesting ideas. Before starting, make sure your idea is really speaking to you and that you have a vision in mind. And I don't mean vision in a literal sense, like where you envision a detailed scene and draw it from memory. I mean that you should know what you want to achieve. And you can also think back to a situation in your life when you felt something and you want to replicate this feeling. And this can be anything, like a song or a movie. And for me it's often walks. Whenever I walk my dog, in the dark at 2 a.m. along a river, for example. There's a place where there are no streetlights, and I just enjoy being there, I guess. And maybe I'm weird, but I enjoy this kind of creepy forest atmosphere with the water sounds in the background. And then sometimes I imagine, what if that tree over there was a weird creature standing around and just watching me and Yoshi while he pisses on another tree or something? What I mean is that I remember this creeped out feeling I get and try to achieve something similar in my paintings visually. For that, I also try to notice what makes me feel this way. In order for this to work, you need to be in the right state of mind when painting or when drawing. Forcing it is hard, and I think it can make it worse. So I don't say, if you're not inspired, go play video games or make something else. But just don't get anxious and know that it comes and goes. Looking at other art might help too, but be careful and don't burn yourself out by comparing yourself too much. But if you're not inspired, you can also always just do studies. But to not beat around the bush too much, what I'm getting at is, if you feel like your art gets worse, just try to take your time and think about what you actually want to draw. What is the mood you're going for? And also, what is the reaction you're trying to provoke? By the way, how's your grandma? Sorry. Okay, so many of you are probably wondering, what is this shit? Why is he not doing this roll painting stuff? Well, that's because I don't want to. At least for the moment. I kind of got burned out doing that and just wanted to do more personal stuff, so that's why I just record time lapses, and I'm doing a voiceover where I share my thoughts about things. You can also let me know in the comments what you think about that. Like, for example, we don't care about anything you say, your opinions don't matter, oh, you think you're so important that I would draw and listen, letting this play in the background. No. Enough is enough. Remove this man from this platform immediately. Every comment is welcome. The painting running in the background is Mossy Bag. It's for my series of paintings called Back to the Roots, and the series is basically about the cycle of life and how after death you return to nature and nature always wins. So I just find the concept of it interesting. Just corpses returning to nature and becoming trees, kind of. Okay, I think I said everything I wanted to say. If you're interested in seeing more of this painting series and my art in general, you should subscribe and make me a happy boy.